What's cracking with you people? I'm Nazi here, and welcome back to Star Fox Adventures. In the last one, we started playing as Fox McCloud on our way through the adventure known as Dinosaur Planet. In the last one, we got our first trick. Oh, look at his little ears! Look at they twitch. They twitch when he's I guess when he's bored. But yeah, we got our first quest, and that is to find the prince of the Earthwalkers named Tricky. Now, if we go over here, this is a bomb spore planting patch. Plant a spore here and see what happens. Now, remember in the last one, we were told that we could use these bomb spores. They would grow instantly, and they would be useful for items later. You can strike these with your staff. I don't recommend it. What you should do is bring out your firing reticle, press A, and there you go. Well, you are a heavy sleeper. But like we heard inside the last episode, when you use a bomb spore that's already been planted, it will release they release bomb spores. If you plant one yourself and detonate it, you will not get more bomb spores out of it. So don't recommend doing it. Now here is our warp stone. Big fella, no legs. Wow, it must suck to be him. Now we're going to go up through here, and we're going to... Can we do anything with this? No. You're blocking the way. Ain't that some stuff? We're going to go over here and speak to... Actually, before we do that, I see a patch we can use. Let's go ahead and make good use of that first. Now, if you're listening closely, I actually do like the... I want to bring attention to the soundtrack real quick, just so I can get it out the way. I enjoy a lot of the music in this game. A lot of it, not all of it. Some of it I feel is kind of bland and meh. But the stuff that's actually really good is really good. Like the Thorntail Hollow tracks. I don't know, something about tribal chanting really does it for me. I don't know why. And there's more stuff to be heard later. Don't think I'll be giving as much attention to it, but figure I might as well let you know. See, now that you're awake, buddy, what do you got to say for me? This isn't really a good time to talk, but if you see any egg snatchers, be sure to get them. Why don't you go and talk to the warp stone? Interesting. Someone seems a little depressed. Well, I will talk to the warp stone in a second, but first things first. I want to plant one of these here. Always be mindful of any bomb spore patches. It's very rare to make them very hard to see. So all you gotta do is just use your eyes, plant it, and find some treasures. Now these are going to be important for later, and you're about to see why. This is a fuel cell. It is used to power the R-Wing. Rob had a few problems getting them down to the surface of Dinosaur Planet. This means they have been scattered around everywhere. You will need them to enable you to fly to the floating worlds in orbit above the planet. This is our mode of progressing. We are going to need these in order to get around later on inside the game. Don't worry about them being hard to find. They're actually pretty easy to get to. You just gotta listen out for the electrical static. Now, let's talk to the warp stone. What's up, big fella?
Nobody ever brings me gifts anymore.
Huh. Okay, well that's weird. Okay, well, what do you have to say about this, man? Okay. Well, since we are stuck, let's actually talk to Slippy for advice.
It's Slippy. Seems like you need some help.
It's always good manners to give gifts, Fox. I'm sure that Warpstone fella would be very happy if you gave him something. Why don't you look around in the store for something you can afford?
Okay.
So now we're gonna go to the store. Because the Warpstone apparently wants gifts. Well, buddy, I hate to break it to you, but the reason why no one brings you gifts anymore is because you're locked behind a stone wall that you need to blow up to get to, and I don't think a lot of these dinosaurs can, you know, discharge fire from their mouth. Granted, I've been wrong before, but still. Kind of shady area. This really isn't a good place for business because you need to have opposable thumbs to get in and out. Like, seriously, what was the shopkeep thinking?
Welcome to my store. Feel free to look at the many wonderful items within these walls. I have food, special goods, and many maps. And if you like to play games, then enter the Scarab Room. Yes. Oh, and that's the exit.
Okay. Thanks.
Now, if you find something that you like, then choose that item and we'll discuss a price. Is that clear?
Well...
Good. Now, hurry and choose something. Or get out.
Okay. I don't know if this is a woman or a man, but you have no legs. Now here's our food. This is where you can come if you're like, let's say you're hard up on health and you need something. You can come here to get food or other items that will be useful later. Don't want to waste your money on this right now because you really don't need a lot of this. The only reason you would come here is to buy this. And that's it. That's literally it. Everything else you'll find in abundance as you go throughout the world. Now, over here are the maps. Let's go through here. Go down through this dungeon looking area. And these are maps for various different points in the world. I will be buying these because you honestly don't need them, but they do help in certain situations, and my sense of direction isn't the best. But yeah, just know that they're there. Which is odd because they establish in the opening cutscene that, well, one of the opening cutscenes, later, actually the one with Star Fox themselves, that Peppy likes to make maps. So why need to buy our maps from here? Bomb for that holder. Trust me, you will need this later. You will need this later. This is a Cape Claw map. Won't need this right now. Firefly Lantern. Won't need this for right now. This is a high-def display device. We'll get to that in a second. Tricky's Ball. We'll get to that in a second. And here is a Dragon Rock map, Krazoa Palace map, and Ocean Force Point map. Trust me, we will be coming back to these later, but this is what we need. Rock candy.
You pay this much.
Now here's how this system works. You can haggle for a price. The lower you go, we'll tell you what they say.
No, that's too low.
Trust me when I say this is really not worth it.
No, that's too low.
So let's go ahead and pay the full price.
Okay, I'll sell it to you.
This is rock candy. It is a very tasty sweet rock. That would make a great gift. Which is your hint. Like I said, this shopkeep, just me, and we will be coming back for this, trust me on that. This shopkeep, as you're going to find out, is very conniving, very sleazy, and it really is not worth it to try to haggle on a price. Because depending on how high the price is, depending on what the item is, they will not, and I repeat, they will not budge on the price. So you're better off just trying to earn up the appropriate amount of funds needed to actually purchase anything. And also, never buy food from them. Never buy food. You're just not going to need it. A lot of the other stuff in there you can get through the game without using, or without buying it, I suppose. But I'm going to be getting a lot of it just to show off what some of it does, because some of it is actually pretty interesting, but it makes me wonder why they relegated it. Well, they relegated it to the shop that you don't need to visit very often. Anyway, let's go back here. And if you hit A,
Nobody ever brings me gifts anymore.
Well, I'm glad you say that because I have brought you a gift.
A lovely sweetie. Mmm. Who dares bother the mighty warpstone? 1,000 years I've been left alone to rest. What do you want?
Well, can you help us?
Help you? No.
But you're a warpstone. You're supposed to help.
Right. Let's see if I can remember what I'm supposed to do. Okay. Now if you push left on the control stick, then I'll send you to one of those warpstone thingies. We'll get back to that in a minute. And if you push forward on the control stick, then you can enter the maze. Now this one's a bit special. When you have collected a Krazoa spirit, then push right on the control stick. And I'll send you to Krazoa Palace. Now, you know what I do. So hurry up and make a choice. If not, then press B so I can get back to sleep.
Alright, so now we're going to go to Ice Mountain.
Are you ready to warp?
Ice Mountain. And here we are, Ice Mountain. Let's get to it, shall we? And there's our first thing. Now we need to find a way to get through this door. Now I didn't buy a map for this area, but you really don't need it. So we should be fine here. If I remember correctly, we can't do anything with that right now. We go over here. Thinking about that. And we plant a bomb spore here. So yeah, the Warpstone, that classic rare humor. And I'm gonna say it right now, I'm very 50-50 with rare humor. Now what's this here?
Show me 20 scarabs and I'll give you a cheat token.
We'll get to that in a second. I've never actually used it, but I believe this gives you cheat codes for specific, if I remember correctly, for specific things in the game. I might try using it this playthrough just to show what it does, but really, I rarely ever need to use it. Now here's how this works. A timed bomb barrel. Drop it here. I wasn't trying to throw it, but context sensitive and all that. Forget about that. But this is a Rare's game, and as you can tell, Rare put a lot of their trademark humor into it. Just gonna say right now, I'm not the biggest fan of a lot of the humor scenes in here. Some of it does get a chuckle out of me, like the interaction between Fox and General Pepper earlier. That was pretty good, you know, and a few other things. But for the life of me, I don't care for the mean-spirited nature of the humor, and I know that that's a good chunk of British humor. but it really isn't for me, you know? Like, I don't like the characterization of Fox in this game. I get that he's a mercenary and whatnot, but I feel like they made him a jerk as a result. And I'm not the biggest fan of playing as jerks in video games. I'm just not. Especially if there's no thematic point to them being a jerk. I'm gonna hit this button here. I'm gonna go into here.
Hey, Scaleface! Pick on someone your own size! I am Fox McCloud, lead pilot of the Star Fox team. I've come to take the prince back to his home. Hey, wait!
And now for another gameplay style. This is the bike racing thing, and these are the bike racing segments. And I'm gonna let you know right now, these are pretty decent, but the controls take a bit getting used to. What you're supposed to do here is you're supposed to race the Sharp Claw to the end of the segment, depending on what you're meant to do. They do vary up the objectives and goals of the speeder bike segments, so you won't have to worry about doing too much of the same thing. It's recommended that you try to do as much damage to each of them as you can, because if they get to the end of if they get to the end of a segment before you do, it's an immediate game over. So you gotta race well, and you gotta be really on top of your game. They will drop mines behind them to slow you down, and it can get annoying. So just be very careful about that. Try to cut as many corners as you can, and just generally stay on top of them. I think I'm about to lose this one. Yep, I think I'm about to lose this one. I think that's the end right down there. Yep, there's the end. Now, why Fox doesn't just... Yep. Now, why Fox doesn't just try to run right through them, I don't know. Oh, but they just need to come back and get this. I'm going to try this one more time. And I'll admit, it usually takes me about 2 tries to get this right, because you really have to be on top of... You have to really, really be on top of this in order to succeed. You can't slow down too much. You got to take advantage of a lot of shortcuts, and just try not to hit the mines too much. So as I want to cut over here, and that puts me in front of one of them. Like, you know, now like there, that's kind of funny. I got him caught behind me, so he kept running into me in a narrow space. So it made it easier for me to do consistent damage to him to the point where he would die. So right now, if I do this right, he should be close to death too. I think 2 more hits should do it. It's close. There we go. And now let's move something from here. And all we gotta do is go down the road. Now I'm not gonna lie, I do like this gameplay style, though I think they should have done more of it to make it a race to the end or destruction derby. I think they should have made it instead of like, I don't know. I feel like they should have done something a little bit more interesting with the course. Oh, look at me, I'm clipping right to the ground there. Fun.
Ue sizbu aku kutsuk furu, e uet will vekwat rodan. What? Ue sizbu aku kutsuk furu, e uet will vekwat rodan.
I can't understand you.
Ue sizbu at hot spring, or you'd be frozen by now.
Why, you little...
Hey, I wouldn't if I were you. My dad's a king earthwalker, and he'll bash you up.
I don't think he'll be doing any bashing. He's been captured. That's why I've been sent to rescue you.
He's been captured?
That's right. It was your mother that sent me to find you.
Is she okay?
She'll be just fine. But we need to get you home.
Well, we need to get you home, but I need to end the part. Sorry, guys. But that's it for today. I've been Anansi. This has been Star Fox Adventures. And I'll catch you later.